Offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we're back. We're talking about the holiday seasons. Hey, this Wednesday, for all of our Jewish friends, we want to wish you an easy fast.
And may you be sealed for a good and sweet and prosperous year.
Absolutely. The 10 days will be up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm a good boy, so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, there you go.
Another one of those great shows we love doing. This next show is so easy to do. I could just sit back and let him go. This guy's he's like a racehorse at the gate. It's amazing. But when you do have the accomplishments that he's had, for this next 30 minutes, we've got Gil Bilu of Bilu and Bilu. If you're having a foreclosure problem, even a real estate problem,
absolutely,
not
that's
just
what
foreclosure,
I want to talk about today.
Bankruptcy, you do
Amen.
it all.
Absolutely. All right, so
you got to tell us about yourself first and your firm.
All right, so I'll tell you about myself. People have been listening to me. Listen, Gil Bilu, Bilu and Bilu LLC. If it's real estate, I know it. If I don't know it, then it's not real estate. Around my office, actually, they call me the dirt lawyer because when it comes to just getting your hands in the soil, that's me. I'm all about it. You have trouble with your engineer working on an easement. I'm in the middle of dealing with one of those right now. If real estate contracting, things are heating up in the market again. Buyers are defaulting on their contracts, and now it's going to become a lot easier to default. Why is it going to become a lot easier to default? Today's all about timing, right? And that's actually what I want to talk a bit about today. We're going to start with some foreclosure timing, and then we're going to jump into some other timing because you know what?
Gil, can I say something? I got to kind of give you a kudos because when you go to hire an attorney, you got to wonder, what if this goes to court? You have to litigate. So you need someone who's also a good litigator just in case it does go to court.
Right. Absolutely. And
you're a bulldog, bro.
And you see the tie. I'm not wearing this for Steve. He's not that pretty. The reason for those of you that are actually watching the webcast, and if you want to watch the webcast, www.bilulaw.com. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio, 1470 AM if you're listening. Well, the reason I'm wearing a suit today, I was in court. Today was a little bit of nonsense in court. Nothing that important, not that big of a deal, but absolutely, I'm comfortable in that courthouse. I love that courthouse. That courthouse loves me. I'm like Mayor McForeclosure sometimes. I know everybody. And we like to go in and we like to argue, but ultimately we're looking for a good result for our clients at the end of the day. And if that means going in and giving the bank a hard time and giving them a black eye, great. If it means working out a deal with the bank to let them foreclose quickly and waive your deficiency, we'll do that too. I actually just did that for somebody. It looks like I'm going to hand the bank something in record time. We're going to be done with this foreclosure in like 4 months. And why? Because that's what the best deal is for my client. So that's what I'm helping him do. He wants to give up the house. He wants to make sure he doesn't have a deficiency. I said, great, let's do it. And I called up. I think I talked about this on the last show. Called up the bank. I said, bank's attorney. I said, hey, how often is it that I hand you something on a silver platter? And they're like, never. I'm like, well, I got something for you. And that's what we did with this guy. So what I want to talk about is timing. There's a big case last week that really doesn't make much difference for most of the people that are listening to this show, or at least they don't think it does. What had happened was, as you know, your condo association or homeowners association can also foreclose if you don't pay your maintenance. They usually do it a lot faster. They've got more to lose. They don't have the same type of funds that these banks have. So there's one particular case. And this is out of the 4th district. This happened, I don't remember, it was Broward or Palm Beach County. But basically, the association foreclosed for unpaid liens. The bank isn't a part of that lawsuit, is fine. The bank had actually, I think, maybe even started their lawsuit before then and just never did anything with it. The association takes title to the property at the foreclosure sale. They write a letter to the banks and say, hey, look, man, the maintenance is going unpaid. And we don't want to foreclose on you. The maintenance is going unpaid. We own this. We want to work something out with you. Bank just never responded, never did anything. So the association got a little fed up, and they filed what's called a quiet title action. Basically, that's a lawsuit that says, I own the property, you don't, and I'm going to ask for the court for a judgment that says that. Well, really, the association didn't have the right to do that.
They can't just come in and say that.
Well, you can say whatever you want, right? And here's the thing. The bank did nothing. The bank didn't respond, right? And the association filed for a judgment, and the court was a little surprised that the bank didn't respond. Why don't you send them another notice of hearing? We're going to reschedule this. And the bank actually got a judgment and vacated it because they were concerned about some service problems. It was really weird stuff. They go and they reserve everything on the bank, and again, it goes to judgment, and again, the bank never shows up, never does anything. The condo association gets the judgment. And now there's a judgment that says, I don't care if you had a $400,000 mortgage on the property, you no longer have any interest in it, we own it. 18 months later, the bank finally wakes up. It's like, hey, wait a second, we've got a right to this property. Go to the court, and they go to the circuit court. They said, look, I know that the association got this judgment, but it's all BS. They didn't have the right to do it, and they said that the judgment was void because of a failure to state a cause of action, which is a very technical thing. And the circuit court bought it hook, line, and sinker. Went up to the appellate court. The appellate court said, wait a second, you've got 1 year on a voidable judgment. It's judgment that shouldn't have been entered for one reason or another, but is still valid. It really shouldn't have been entered because the evidence didn't support it, but you didn't do anything. So I'm sorry, bank, but you waited 6 months too long to do anything. You never moved to vacate the judgment. You never responded in the lawsuit. You were properly served twice. There were 2 hearings. There were 2 judgments that you got copies of, and you did nothing. So we're very sorry, and you're out your money, but you no longer have any interest in this property.
Wow.
So what's that? It's all about the timing, right? And so, this is one thing we always talk about. Well, what happens if you stick your head in the sand and you don't do anything when that foreclosure is filed?
Those letters that come in.
Right. Oh, after you get served with a lawsuit. Well, this happened to a bank, right? So it's not just, sometimes it can happen to Goliath just as easily as it happens to David, right? So here the bank did nothing. It was a big bank. I think it was Bank of New York or U.S. Bank. I don't remember which one. They just sat on their hands. They didn't do anything. It got lost on somebody's desk. I don't know what the problem was.
How did that happen?
I don't know.
That's like a pretty stupid mistake.
They have so many things going on. They don't pay attention to all the lawsuits. And I know a lot of people that buy at these association sales and do stuff like that. And they file quiet title actions against the bank. And they win. Now, you might have trouble selling the property, but if you want to rent it out for the next 20 years or so, until you can sell it, that's a good strategy for some people. You got to watch out. I think the banks are going to be a little more aware of this now. But that's certainly a problem that these banks have. So it's all about timing. It's all about knowing your rights. I have people that come to me that had a great case. Unfortunately, the judgment happened 3 years ago. I said, you had a great case 3 years ago, but you didn't appear in your lawsuit. I can't help you now. So
because they tried to do it themselves?
No, they just didn't do anything. And then all of a sudden they started listening to the news, and they're like, oh, robo-signing this and fraud that and lost note. And I'm like, yes, I'm very happy you read my blog post from 3 years ago. But we didn't do anything now. And right now, if I was going to try to do something, I would wind up taking your money and not getting you a result. I don't want to do that. And, I've had that. I've turned away people. I said, look, you're 3 years too late. You had a great case 3 years ago. You didn't do anything 3 years ago, and now we're kind of stuck in this situation. And I hate to say that. I hate to be a defeatist, but, I also need to kind of be upfront with my clients about it. So, if you're out there and you're listening and you think it's too late, but you're not sure, call me. 954-596-0669. That's the number you call for a free consultation. We can do a consult over the phone. You can come and meet me in person. I've even done consultations over email. I haven't quite done them over Skype yet because I don't have a camera set up on my computer, but we don't need to go there quite yet, right? But seriously, call if you are too late and there's nothing that we can do, I will tell you that you're too late. There's nothing we can do, and that won't cost you a penny. It'll cost me a little bit of my time, but that's just the kind of guy that I am. 954-596-0669.
Let's talk about those people who get that letter in the mail.
Yeah.
And they think by putting it in the drawer, it's going to go away.
Yeah, no, that doesn't work. I mean, it is going to go out of your sight, but out of sight is not out of mind for the people that are coming after you. And I've had people come in and do that. They come in, I got this like years ago, and they pull out a Publix bag. You know, this thing is like all folded up, half of it's ripped up. They've got like their kid's doctor's appointment schedule written on it, and I'm like, coffee stains on it. I'm like, really? This is kind of important. This is something that you should have brought to my attention. And look, that's nothing I can't work around. But, you know, when I see the type of, the type of focus someone puts on it, and look, we're human, right? We want to avoid things that are painful. But that's kind of the difference between humans and animals, right? You know, an animal like an ostrich, perfect example, sticks its head in the sand. We have the ostrich client, so what we call them. You stick your head in the sand, you think, you know, I can't see it, so it's not going to happen. And, you know, unfortunately, that's not the truth. You know, I've had people literally sitting on their couch when the sheriff comes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can we talk about loan modifications? Because that's an option for people.
Loan modifications are still happening. You know, they're still out there. You know, you've got to get kicking on them early. It is usually, I think, what I've found to be one of the key factors, especially with an escalating real estate market, right? And the value of real estate's going up. The banks have more incentive now to foreclose because there's a better chance that they'll get more of their money if the property goes to sale. And what we do, if you come into our office, you want to keep your property, and you know you were out of a job for a little while, you had some big financial event occur, whatever it is, and you got behind, but you've got steady income now, and you know, we'll tell you if we can help you. We'll sit down with you. You know, whether we can do it through a bankruptcy, whether we can do it right through the regular loan modification process. We'll work with you. We'll gather the documentation. We'll negotiate it with the bank. We'll do everything that we can do, to get you there. And again, you know, if it's not going to be in the cards, if, you know, you've got a monthly, you know, payment for just insurance and taxes on your property that's $3,000 a month and you earn $3,500 a month, I'm not going to tell you I can get you modification. I'm not. That's not fair to you. We'll work on another option with you. If you've got good income, we can certainly work with the bank to get you there. And the banks are still working on it. I know there's a lot of people out there, you know, that have come and be like, well, my neighbor said the banks aren't modifying loans anymore. No, they are. But you need to apply for it and you need to work towards it or nothing's going to happen. And that's, you know, one thing that you know, I think a lot of people are mistaken about. They listen to their neighbor, they listen to their friends, and you know, the last person they ask a question to, and sometimes unfortunately when it's too late, is me. And I'm going, I had one guy that called me. He's like, yeah, my mortgage broker, I think I was talking about this last time. My mortgage broker said, don't fight with the bank when it comes time, you know, on the foreclosure suit. We're working on the modification, and you're just going to make the bank angry. So don't defend the lawsuit, and when it comes time, just let them get a judgment, and we'll work it out. And that guy's losing his house. Well, actually, no, we're filing Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Hopefully we'll be able to save it. His income's a little iffy, so, you know, we're going to have to see. But that's really the situation he found himself in, is because he listened to his friend. And I told him, like, don't take this the wrong way. I'm sure he's a good friend. I'm sure this person meant well, but they're an idiot.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
These people who want to handle it themselves,
Yeah.
or let a realtor, what is the difference having a realtor handle a loan modification versus an attorney?
A realtor can't handle loan modification.
Okay.
I mean, well, technically they can. They can't charge you a fee up front, which means you're not going to be real high on their priority list.
Exactly.
And, you know, this is just not what they do. And there's something to be said for the bank dealing with a law office. You know, their department, first of all, we know what we're doing. We do a lot of these. And, you know, a lot of times we wind up charging less than some of these modification storefronts. A lot of them have been closed down by the Florida Attorney General. I'm not a huge fan of Pam Bondi, but that's one thing that she's done very well, is close down a lot of these scammers. I had people come to me and say, yeah, I was afraid to go to a lawyer. I thought it would cost too much. So I paid this guy, like, look at me, like some obscene sum of money up front. And I'm like, and did anything happen? No. And then, like, and we put money, he said to put money in his account, his trust account every month. I'm like, he's not a lawyer. He doesn't have a trust account. And, you know, it's part of what we try to do. We try to humanize the experience. We try to bring it to the level that our clients are going to understand, that they feel comfortable working with us. And, you know, my staff, you know, we really go through and make sure they're very compassionate and very understanding when they talk to the clients. It's part of the criteria that we hire them on is how well they're going to deal with our clients. If you've got a question about it, 954-596-0669. It's never too late to call and make an appointment. It's never too late to talk about it. Give us a call. We'll set up a consultation. We're happy to help you, but don't wait until it's too late. It's all about the timing on something like this.
We're going to go to break, and we come back. I want to hear some more stories.
Well,
I love your stories.
Actually, when we come back, we're gonna go with the opposite side of this, right? We're all talking about what happens when the mortgage goes bad. We're talking about what happens in getting the mortgage, because there's some huge rule changes that are going to affect in 2 weeks. And I've been learning about it. It's been going on for a while, but they go into effect in 2 weeks. When we get back from the break,
want to hear that.
You're going to want to hear about it because it's going to affect a lot of people out there.
We'll be right back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we're back, sitting here talking about the Jewish holidays. Anyway, tell us what's going on.
All right,
with the laws.
So right, we're going to talk about what happens when that mortgage goes bad, right? Well, you got to get the mortgage before it goes. Well, hopefully it never goes bad, but you have to have that mortgage in place. And one of the things, one of the outgrowths of the mortgage foreclosure crisis was the government set up the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, which is headed by Elizabeth Warren. She's a great crusader for consumer rights. Harvard-educated, incredibly smart woman. She's a senator. She was a senator. Did she get voted out?
No, she's still a
senator.
Is she going to run for president?
She's farther left than Bernie Sanders. So,
Yes.
I don't know what's going to happen if she runs. I don't think she's running. She keeps saying she's not running. Well, so she wanted to open up the whole real estate lending practice and make it so that consumers have more choice. And really went in and changed the whole way consumer lending is done. It used to be you went to your mortgage broker, you went to your bank, you applied for a loan, they pulled your credit. It was a hard pull, so you didn't go too many places. And then they said, okay, oh, good, I can get you a loan, and here's a percentage. And if you wanted to, you could go shop it around, or you could say, okay, great. But you didn't shop it around too much because of the impact on your credit score, blah, blah, blah. So she said, no, we're going to open this process up. And what she basically did, and if I've got mortgage brokers or real estate agents out there listening to this is going to affect the way you work. Listen, call me at the office. If you're a mortgage broker, real estate broker, I'll be happy to do a training class in your office to go through these rules, what you need, 954-596-0669. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. I'm happy to help you. I just took a lot of continuing education on this. And, it's not beyond the pale, but it's a complete change from everything we've done. So, let's look at this from the consumer's perspective. That's the most important thing, right? Steve, you and Rene are going to go buy a house, right? And you go, okay, we're going, and we found the house, and we love it. And, okay, we've got 3 days or 5 days under our contract to apply for a loan. So you go to Wells Fargo, and you go to Bank of America, or you go to a mortgage broker, and they shop it for you. Then all of a sudden in the mail, you start getting these things called loan estimates. And this is said, okay, this is the kind of loan we're offering. fixed rate, whatever, based on the information you gave us, which is the value of the property, your income, your social security number, that sort of stuff.
Who's this coming from?
This is coming from your lenders or
Okay.
potential lenders. You get from like Lending Trees, you use commercials. Well, yeah, it's a new form that explains the loan very well. Now you're going, great, I'm going to go with one of these loans. And what you've got to do is now go to the bank and say, okay, I intend to proceed with this loan. And then there becomes a whole set of disclosures after that and the way they do it. And a lot of it's going to mess up things on my end. But what's the important thing, right? The important thing is that on last Friday, in anticipation of this, or this past Friday, in anticipation of this, the Florida Association of Realtors and the Florida Bar, who put together a real estate contract that they give realtors to use, changed some of the basic terms of the contract to accommodate these new time periods. Because if you are going to be borrowing money to buy a house, right, and you think that you're going to go from contract to close in 30 days, you're not.
How long is it going to take now?
We're estimating minimum of 45 days, maybe longer.
Because of the paperwork?
Because of the paperwork, and here's the problem, right? Or I don't want to say here's the problem, because look, ultimately, I'm in favor of consumers being more knowledgeable. However, a lot of the back-end work that used to be done by people like me at the title company, as far as getting figures together, is now going to be done by the bank. They're going to be generating the closing statements that they give to us to tell you how much money to bring, as opposed to the other way around, which is what we used to do, where they would give us their figures, we would put everything together, we get them to approve it, we get the buyer to look at it. Well, here's what happens, right? So let's say you're Joe Consumer, right? Let's say, and you get all these great loans in the mail from the bank, and you even have a thing to sign on it, say, I received this loan, or I received this information, and you don't do anything. Well, guess what, buddy? That loan estimate expires in 10 days. If you never went back to the bank and said, okay, I'm going to proceed with this loan, you got to start the process all over again. Technically means you're now in violation of your contract. And if you don't get that financing in place in time, you could lose that deposit money that you put down.
So it's a race now.
Well, it's not a race. It's a race to nowhere.
It's good enough.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
No, it's not so much that it's a race, but in order to make sure that consumers were informed, they kind of try to engage the consumers in the process, which is all well and good for an educated consumer. But let's face it, not everybody's NBO, right? I don't know if you remember those commercials.
No.
An educated consumer is our best customer. NBO is a chain in New York. So what happens is you get all these things in mail. I go, great, I got an awesome loan. I'm ready to rock and roll. You don't do anything. And now getting close to closing. I haven't got any paperwork. I haven't spoken to the bank. Your realtor's going, well, I don't know. You're supposed to be on top of your financing. So the realtor's now upset because he's losing his commission.
Right.
You're upset because you're losing your deposit. You got to come to me to try to help defend the deposit, or at least work something out where we can extend the closing, do something like that. So, part of this is what I'm going to tell you is, before people went and used title companies and always used attorneys. I had a title company. I'm an attorney, but, I had a title company. What I'm going to tell you is this. Used to be, you signed your contract and your mortgage broker's like, hey, go talk to you. We're going to take care of everything. We'll send it over to an attorney. You don't have to worry about it. We'll take care of everything for you, which was good. It was easy. And if you're, if you're blue collar Joe working at a job and you get past like a paragraph and it gives you a headache, you're happy.
Right.
Now all of a sudden you get a 3-page disclosure in the mail with all sorts of numbers and figures, and you don't understand them. I mean, look, I tell you, I read these forms and it took me a while to understand it. And the beautiful thing about Liz Warren is that she went to Harvard. The bad thing about some of these documents is you can tell that she went to Harvard, and you got to go to Harvard to understand some of them.
So what are people going to do?
Well, first of all, the main advice I'm giving, engage an attorney right away. You met with the realtor, you have the contract, say, hey, before we send this offer over, let me have my attorney look at it. Or, talk to my attorney before we do, even you're out house hunting, right? Say, hey, I'll call your realtor and be like, look, you're using the new FAR bar with the new terms on it, right? Good, awesome. Let me know when they get it in. We'll walk them step by step through the process, because this is going to be a change. And as people, I'm not even making fun of realtors. And if anybody's ever been at one of my closings when the realtor's not there, I love making fun of realtors. If you're at a closing and mortgage broker's not there, I love making fun of mortgage brokers. The bank's never there, I always make fun of the bank, right? But seriously, a good realtor is worth his weight in gold, her weight in gold. A good mortgage broker, same deal. Really, they are. They're going to be there to help walk you through the process, but they're learning it too. we're all learning it. The banks are learning it. And that's why we're, allowing all this extra time, because we don't know how it's going to work in the real world. We've got these great plans with these extra disclosures, and supposedly now my buyers are going to have their closing figures 3 days ahead of closing. So all they got to do is come in with sent in the wire and come in to close. I hope that's the way it's going to actually work. But I have a feeling I'm going to be sitting down with a lot of these and explaining these 6 pages of numbers that you're getting ahead of time.
How long it is? 6 pages?
Right now we have a closing statement that's 3 pages long. The third page is pretty much extraneous. It's kind of a statistical analysis. The first 2 pages are the most important part. We're going to a 6-page that combines some of the disclosures that used to be you didn't get really until closing. Sometimes you did, sometimes you didn't. Something called the truth in lending statement, which all your mortgage broker had to do is say they gave you. Now, there's actually requirements that the banks have to prove that they gave it to you. And the banks are really nervous about this. And they're really nervous about these timelines.
You can't sit on this either.
Well, you can't sit on it, but the bank can't sit on it, because if they're off on their timeline, this is the crazy thing, right? This is how they're going to fund the enforcement of this. The bank can be fined between $5,000 and $1 million per day per violation. So they're going to be really tight on it, and we're going to be seeking to partner with them. I don't hate banks. Even when it comes to foreclosure, I don't hate banks. I hate the way some of this stuff works, but I don't hate banks. And so, what we're trying to do is work hand in hand with everybody. We'll work with your mortgage broker, or we'll work with your realtor to make sure that you're getting there every step of the way, that we're overseeing that process with you. That's what we're here for. You're bringing it to us to help you. If you're buying someplace and you're going to be making that loan application after October 3rd, 954-596-0669. Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Put me on a conference call with your realtor. Make sure they're using the new contract that came out, because the other form contracts that the realtors get, they don't have it. Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com. Follow me on Twitter @GBilu. I'm here to give a lot of information. I like to make a lot of jokes when I'm talking on the air.
You got to be educated though now.
Yeah,
more than
this
ever.
is like serious stuff. This is like, I remember when I started doing closings 15 years ago, and it was like, it was a blast, and it was fun, and it was great, and it took me like a day to really kind of learn the disclosure and how to explain things to people. This is all changing. This is all new to me. I'm excited because I learned something new. 954-596-0669. Give us a call. Set up your free consultation. Look forward to hearing from you, our Jewish listeners. May you be sealed for a good, healthy, and sweet and prosperous year. And you know what? My non-Jewish listeners, too. Same thing.
And October 3rd. October 3rd.
If you're applying after October 3rd, everything changes.
Okay. Bro, I love having you on.
And it's win it.
This is a good one. And you know what? I'm going to say this. See, the judges know when he comes in, they know he knows what he's talking about. So he's got a little bit extra going for him there.
I try.
Anyhow, thanks for listening today. Peace and love. We'll see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show with Steve O and Rene. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program